For Species 2, that was an interesting project. I had always wanted to do, I mean, you know, Fifth Element, we got to do a little bit of space stuff, but like, I think that for Species 2, and I had worked on Species 1 at Boss, and so I knew the film and all that, but Species 2 was a whole different animal, different director, all that kind of stuff. And so we partnered with Digital Magic Company, which was a post-production company. They were doing, and they would do the compositing, and we would do, and all the digital stuff, and we would do the miniatures and the photography. That was the original plan. I don't know, we were real competitive, and we got the job, and we were excited about it because it seemed like a really neat opportunity. The sequences that were originally designed for these ships were all very straightforward storyboards of relatively distant shots, like, you know, sort of like very picturesque kind of 2001 style shots of a lot of this material. And then once they got awarded the show, they hired a visual effects supervisor at Digital Magic, and he proceeded to previs and design a completely different set of storyboards, and they were much more elaborate shots that would require miniatures that were much, much larger in scale than we had budgeted to build. There wasn't any more money, so they basically said, don't worry, we're just going to shoot the model. We just build the models like you were planning to, and then we'll shoot the models. It'll be fine, which I don't know that I would say that it was fine. It was a very difficult project from a shooting perspective because the models were smaller than they should have been, and we just didn't have the money to build them the scale they needed to be. But we still made a valiant effort to build the hell out of these models, and it meant designing that main ship for the mission, and we really didn't have a lot of, we were given a fair amount of leeway by the production department on how to build it. So we really sat down and just kind of said, like, well, if you were mounting a mission to Mars, how would you do it? And it would be componentized, that you'd have, imagine a space station, you'd bring the things up over time, mission by mission, and then you'd bolt it together. So it'd be a bunch of components and compartments and stuff. And then you'd have a bunch of tanks inside that would have all the various things that you need, whether it be water or oxygen, whatever it is. And you'd have all those inside those, and you'd bring those up separately. So it was a sum of a bunch of parts. And then you'd have the main engine, which would be the thing that would kind of power you all the way to Mars. And then the control bit in the front. It ended up looking a lot like what Kubrick had done in 2001, to be honest. But that wasn't really our direct goal. We really kind of just came to the same place because we were thinking about solving the same kind of problems. And so it was a lot of silver-soldered brass and very kind of fine detail work, you know, lighting inside of it and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I was proud of the way the model turned out. I thought it turned out really well. It was just unfortunate that, you know, when it came time to shoot it, that there was no way, because that thing was like, maybe it was 8 feet long, 6 feet long, something like that. I mean, it wasn't very big. You know, the Discovery from 2010 which had been sitting in the parking lot at Boss for years, in a building in the parking lot, that thing was huge. And, you know, we didn't have the money to build something like that. So the model work was okay. I mean, the lander, we built a reasonably large lander for the Martian lander, but that was one of those things where it had to match production's build exactly, and what they built was really not a very workable design, to be frank. And so we just, you know, we built a copy of it, and you know, it worked fine and did what it had to do. But not a lot of great memories from Species 2, to be perfectly honest, but it was, but I do, you know, the models, I was proud of the models and the work that we did on those, and, you know, so that was good.